The Starship will soon be flying in the air, just like birds in the sky, and Elon Musk, who is always filled with high hopes, has promised that this time around Starship will not fail its next launch attempt. Even though the several static fire tests of the Starship have proven to fail, Elon Musk keeps reminding us how much courage and hopes he has for the Starship, which will never let him down. Amidst many Starship failures, Musk is never weak, and that's because his venture will change the game of the human race in the universe. Hence, the Starship project will change lives, industries, and more about exploring the universe. Suppose you may wonder why Elon Musk failed severally on the Starship project, yet kept pushing hard, hoping to succeed. You also have to remember that Thomas Edison made over 1,000 unsuccessful attempts when inventing the light bulb. Still, he continued researching and conducting several experiments to get the bulb to light up. Today, we're all enjoying the benefit of Edison's hard work. The light bulb is in our various homes shining every day, yet this same light bulb project was attempted over 1,000 times before success came in sight. So at this stage, Elon Musk won't ever be giving up. He has to stand firm on the Starship project. That is why he has kept his hopes alive by revealing when the first orbital launch of the Starship will happen, and that's what we'll be discussing in today's video. SpaceX's revolutionary Starship mega rocket made 2021 a fascinating year, but 2022 has been a challenging year for the company. SpaceX fans kept their eyes on the online live stream of SpaceX Starbase in McGregor, Texas, because they knew that a new rocket could land on the landing pad of an engine test could go off in a blaze of glory. From time to time, something unbelievable would happen. A Starship rocket would suddenly jump off to the landing pad, sail miles into the air, and then try to land in the arms of the chopsticks while falling back to Earth. Even though these attempts usually ended in giant fireballs of rapid, unplanned failure, though it was pretty exciting. And things got even more exciting when, on May 5th, 2021, SpaceX finally proved its concept by launching Starship SN-15 and landing it safely. Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX, says it's highly likely that the company will be ready to try its first orbital Starship launch in November 2022, or even as early as the end of October. But there are still many big problems. On September 19th, Musk also said that the Starship booster that was supposed to be used for that launch would be sent back to the factory for robustness upgrades. This was an unexpected move right after a static fire test that seemed to go well and broke a record. Again, Musk took to Twitter on September 21st to give more information about SpaceX's next steps towards a crucial orbital launch debut. And it was a welcome addition to the information he had already given about SpaceX's fully reusable Starship rocket program. 2 days later, Musk said that one of these upgrades might be to make the thrust section of Super Heavy Booster 7 stronger so that it can keep going even if the Raptor engines fail. With 33 Raptor V2 engines powering it and plenty of evidence that these engines are not perfect, it's easy to see why people are worried, even if SpaceX's answer is slightly different from what they usually do. The next flight of the Starship seems to be just a few months away. This has been the case for over a year, but now it seems more likely that the founder of SpaceX will be able to send his masterpiece rocket into orbit for the first time in the next few weeks. This we don't know how sure. When asked on Twitter when the first orbital flight of Starship might finally happen, the world's richest man said, "Late next month maybe, but November seems very likely." After keeping quiet for more than a year about SpaceX's plans to launch Starship, Sky just confirmed that sometime in the next 28 months, SpaceX will not only resume test launches of Starship, but will also have proven that its Super Heavy booster with 33 Raptor engine can launch Starship into orbit, and that both Super Heavy and Starship can land back on Earth. But is Sky on Twitter trying to contradict Musk's November claim? So when will everything go as planned? When will Starship test flights start happening again in Boca Chica, Texas? That's an excellent question. If you remember, Elon Musk told investors in no uncertain terms 2 months ago that one Starship would be ready to fly by June. He then said that a second Starship would be ready to go with the first one by August and every month after that. Well, if you haven't noticed, August is over and the Starship still has a lot of problems and hasn't taken off. Neither of the promised Starships has taken off yet. Now we hope the acclaimed November won't be another failure the Starship rocket will have to face. Well, the countdown to the first commercial launch of the Starship is officially underway. Musk may have already already missed a few early deadlines, but he still has to keep his promise to launch a Sky satellite in 2024, and the action will likely start soon. Even more so because the Space Launch System rocket, which Boeing made for NASA and is Starship's biggest competitors in terms of launch capability and payload, is about to take its first flight in a few days, and yet SpaceX is still crawling from behind. Before launching Starship, SpaceX must finish testing and get Super Heavy ready. It also needs a launch license from the Federal Aviation Administration, which has always stopped the company in the past. Elon Musk has wanted to send his Moon and Mars rocket into space for a long time, and the world's richest man confirmed that it is still his top priority daily. Musk said in a tweet that getting a Starship to orbit was one of his two main goals for 2022. The other is the wide release of the full self-driving for Tesla cars. This has been a long-awaited feature for Tesla's fleet of electric cars, but regulators haven't gotten their approval yet. There are, of course, many other things, but these are the two big ones. It will take a lot of crazy work from many very skilled people, but if anyone can do it, they can. Musk first talked about his plan to build a giant Starship that could take people to Mars at a conference in 2016. At that time, he hoped to send the first explorers to the Red Planet in 2022. Things are clearly behind schedule, but Musk has always committed that his timelines are often too optimistic. The last time Starship flew on May 5th, 2021, more than 15 months ago. In particular, the SN-15 prototype flew at a high altitude and landed perfectly, unlike its predecessors, which had exploded. At first, there was talk of relaunching SN-15 for more testing, but that never happened because SpaceX decided to focus on its first orbital demonstration flight instead. Since then, Musk and SpaceX have been hard at work getting ready for the first orbital demonstration flight of Starship. This flight will be the first time the vehicle takes off on a Super Heavy booster. For an orbital flight, Starship must be launched first on top of a Super Heavy booster. This also required a long review of the environment. The orbital mission was delayed by several months because of this process. In June, the Federal Aviation Administration gave SpaceX conditional approval, but only if 75 changes were made to the proposed mission plan. The FAA hasn't entirely given a launch license for the Starbase Boca Chica launch site, which will be the last green light SpaceX needs to send Starship into space. But in July, the Federal Communications Commission permitted the company to use radio communications for the mission. This shows that things are getting better. Notably, the radio license says it goes into effect on September 1st. This lets us know that Starship could fly again at the earliest. Now, everything depends on how the FAA and SpaceX test is going to last. SpaceX may be moving quickly and taking big risks to land on Mars, but Elon Musk thinks that things are not going as fast as he thought they would. It has its place, and a big part of the Starship project has been trying things out and seeing what works and doesn't. Don't be too impatient with SpaceX. They're still making fantastic progress. Now is an excellent time to be a little bit more cautious. Also, recent static fires have caused much damage, nothing big, but minor wounds to launch infrastructure and vehicles. This is why testing is done, and now B7 is being improved based on what has been learned. Do you think November orbital launch will be successful? SpaceX has also revealed a new launch date for Starship's first payload. Click on this video to know all about this.